show, Mr. Micro Mike. And folks, we have a special one for you this evening. We have some special guests, and they are hungry, absolutely hungry to talk Lions football. Without further ado, let's get into these intros. Here we go. Moses parted the Red Sea with his words and his staff. Our next man can part the Atlantic Ocean with his thoughts and a twig. What up, though, Luke G?
What it do, man? What it do? You with these intros, bro.
Next is the man who doesn't bowl strikes. He just knocks down one pin and the others 9 faint. What up, though, Big Will?
What up, though, man? I'm in here today.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. The next man is the only man who ever defeated a brick wall in a game of tennis. What up, Dud General 313, and welcome to the show.
Oh, you know, man, it's easy breaking down walls, man. That's what we gonna do today. We're gonna break down some walls.
Absolutely, man. We're gonna get it. We're gonna break it down. And lastly, our next gent once ate Skittles and gave birth to Eminem. What up, though, CA3?
What up, though, man? I needed that laugh after watching that Bleacher Report video. I needed that laugh.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Luke P, can you do me a big flavor and do roll call?
Absolutely. We got Kyle Webb in the building, Data Boy. Let me see, going down. D-Map Zoom. Let me go on down. These names coming in faster than I can keep up. I'm out of touch. And let me scroll down a little bit more. We got Noble Sports Entertainment, TA, who is out doing father duty. Andrew Taylor, Supreme Entertainment, Detroit Rage. What up, though, fellas, man? Welcome to the show.
All right, man. Let's just get straight into this bad boy. We were on the bye week, and we got to watch some of the NFC North games. However, we did see the Packers just defeat the Cowboys on the road in Dallas. Does this change your mind about the Lions beating the Packers, Luke G?
You know what? Honestly, no. I think when I watched that game, man, I was looking at what led to them getting behind. It was more so of the Dallas Cowboys' mistakes. The quarterback hitting receivers in the numbers and they dropping them into the hands of the defender. And then they had a hard time trying to get the run established, knowing that, they had a guy out in Tyron Smith. When I look at the Lions, I expect for our offense to be a little bit more potent. I thought that the tight end play from Dallas was almost non-existent. And on top of that, the defense, I'm like, I don't know where they went, but they didn't show up for that game. It was an embarrassing loss for them. But for me, the Lions should still definitely beat the Green Bay Packers. And if they don't, yeah, we got problems. They should that's a game that they have to win. It's a must-win game for the Detroit Lions.
Absolutely. CA3, does it change your opinion that the Lions can defeat the Packers since they defeated the Cowboys?
I mean, honestly, no. I mean, when I saw that, like, I was watching that game, I wasn't really necessarily impressed with what the Packers were doing. I mean, it was most of the game that the Dallas was shooting themselves in the foot because they couldn't hold on to the ball. They kept fumbling the ball and giving the Packers the ball. I mean, the Packers had so many opportunities. If they didn't win that game, they sucked. But so, I mean, I think we'll be able to beat the Packers. I mean, like, because we got this week off. We got a whole week off. And the Packers, I mean, the Packers are injured in a lot of spots as well. And I just don't – and that doesn't change my mind at all about the game.
Absolutely. Nope. Injuries is imperative. And I think we're going to do good when it comes to injuries come the Packers. And they're on the opposite end. Let me throw it to the General 313. First off, welcome on the round table, man. It's awesome to have you on here.
Absolutely.
And what do you think, man? Do you think the Lions can still defeat them?
So this where I'm gonna go real quick, real simple, because it's a simple question. The Packers, what I look at is who have they played, okay, and who have they had problems with. Same thing with the Cowboys. I'm not a fan of neither one of them, so I really could care less. But what I seen was the Cowboys. The Cowboys had. I don't believe in them because of the teams that they played was terrible. Okay, until you show me something, then I believe you. But then the Packers. But then they run into the Packers, and they fail. They totally fail. They've been exposed. But Detroit is going to do different because we're better offensively and defensively.
Absolutely, the
True.
Lions are a very round team on all three phases, and I think it's a different team, and a lot of people still don't believe it. Big Will, what is your stance on this? The Packers did defeat the Dallas Cowboys, and admittedly, they kind of owned that game. I think it was 30-3 going into the third quarter. What do you think, man? Can the Lions still defeat them?
Okay, I'm gonna say it like this. I was so happy when Green Bay beat Dallas.
Oh,
Because when Detroit beat them, there's no more excuses like, oh, well, Green Bay was hurt. Or
Ooh,
Green
good
Bay
point.
didn't do this. Or all of that's what's going to come out. Oh, Aaron Rodgers had a hangnail. All that type of stuff. I wanted all that out the way first and foremost so we can go ahead, beat them in Green Bay with no excuses, which is going to come anyway. And the thing that people forget, that if Matt Patricia plays against a team more than once, he gets better every time.
Facts.
That is hashtag.
You know, I like your point, Will. I think the point that you made was one I didn't think of myself, but I think it was spot on. Where there is no excuse, they can't say anything. Like you said, they can't say he had a bleeding nose and none of that stuff. He's going to have to be out there and going to have to show up. And they keep on saying that they got a defense, but I don't see this defense. I saw the Dallas Cowboys let Green Bay run the ball. They had Jim Brown and Jerome Bettis going back to back, and I'm like, y'all just letting them run it down y'all throat. So, but you're right. If we would have beat them, they'd have said, "Oh, they still in a rebuilding process." So now that win takes that away. I like how you thinking, man.
Yeah, absolutely. I concur with it. Go ahead.
No, I will say, with that being said, listen, we got 41 in the chat right now. Only got 19 likes. Let's get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Hit that like button on your way in. And if you have already hit that like button, give me some thumbs up in the chat, man. So get those likes up so we can make sure that this video is in circulation, because there's a lot of new hate coming out that I didn't expect to see today. And apparently they wanted to give me some material. So I'm going to eat off the material that they gave. So definitely hit that like button.
Hey, man, and that is definitely food that I'm ready to feast. And I'm sure when the Lions players themselves see it, they're ready to feast as well and decide to take down the Joker, because the Joker is not the bad man they believe he is. And we're talking about A-Rod.
Right.
Now, let's go into the rest of the NFC North. How do the Lions stack up versus the other teams in the North when it comes to offense and defense, Luke G? How do we stack up against them?
You know, when I go through and I look at the rest of these teams, like I look at the 49ers and I'm like, okay, are the 49ers really a good team? And, you have to go by the idea that they are what their records say. But when I look at it, I don't feel that they are better than us offensively. I know they got some weapons in Kettle, who is a phenomenal tight end, but we got a phenomenal tight end. And our defense, I think, is playing some of the best football out right now. So just off of looking at the teams right now who are tops and stuff, I don't see nobody in this conference that we can't battle with. We can battle. We already don't beat the Eagles. We're going to beat the Cowboys. We get a chance to play the Green Bay Packers on Monday night, okay? Everything is setting up for the Detroit Lions to match up well offensively and defensively against all our opponents, and to give us a chance to win not one, but 2 playoff games this year.
I concur with that statement. I feel like in years past, the Lions has either had a good offense with a bad defense, and the other way around, a good defense with a bad offense. This, I think, is the first time, even in all 3 phases, the offense, defense, and special teams, they coalesce around each other and making a well-rounded team that could potentially really make some noise this year, specifically in the cold, in the wintertime. A lot of people in the NFL, as well as fan bases, they still give me issues with this when I say the Lions are a different team, and they don't really see what we're seeing, specifically because, again, we don't get the recognition. Big Will, how do we stack up against the other NFC North teams? And give me your thoughts on this.
Okay, me personally, I feel like if people pay attention, everything we did in the offseason was for this division. Everything that they gave us problems with last year, he fixed. That's the areas that he attacked. Okay, we needed a tight end to go against most of these teams because they was ready for us on the outside, but the inside is where the weakness was at. And most of these teams, and now we can attack that area. And so I feel like everything in the offseason was built for this division, and Patricia already know the weaknesses. He knows the strength of these other teams, and he prepared for it.
Absolutely. What do you think, DeGeneral 313? Can I just call you 313 for tonight? It's a little easier on my throat. Folks. And okay, it looks like he actually left the building. And so Detroit Drew just entered the building. Detroit Drew, first off, I want to say thank you for joining the chat, and let me do an intro. Lastly is the man who tornadoes have sirens for. What up, though, Detroit Drew?
That's not your best one, but it's not bad. It's not bad.
Okay, man. I'm with you there. I am with you there. Folks, when the General 313 can get back in, I'll definitely apply him back in. But right now, I'm going to throw it to you. How did the Lions stack up in the NFC North against the other teams?
I think they're head over shoulders with them, man. They're, like I said, man, the other teams in the NFC North do one thing better than the Lions, but the Lions are the most complete team in this division, and it's not even close. I mean, like we've talked about so many times, every time it seems like we have a weakness on the team, next week they correct it, and it's not a problem the very next week. So not only are we the most, diverse, talented team, if that makes sense, but we're getting better, unlike these other teams.
Absolutely, and you're seeing through week after week, they're progressively getting better, and they're coalescing to make a formidable team, and it's very nice to see. And the General is back. How you doing, buddy? Welcome back in here. Let me throw you that question if you can hear me. How do the Lions stack up against the rest of the teams in the NFC North?
Absolutely well. And you know what I had to say, I don't feel nobody in the NFC is as far as talent wise and having the good coaching that we have is on our level. I think it's a couple of things that we need to iron out. Once we iron out that, I mean, I don't see a team besides the Patriots giving us a problem, to be honest with you.
Folks, we have a new individual joining the chat today. His name is Rage MK. First off, he is a Green Bay Packers fan, and he has shown a lot of respect to me personally. We debated throughout the whole day. He's very factual, and he brought a lot of facts about his team versus our team. So I want to say welcome, Rage, to the chat. And
what up, though?
Yeah, what up, though, buddy? Again, he is a Packers fan, and we're definitely here to talk Detroit Lions football and give you a perspective, what you may have not heard, whether it be through the legacy media or other friends. So you are an hour ahead of me. Yes, it's 7 p.m. EST.
Yeah.
So, Carl, how do the Lions stack up against the rest of the NFC North?
I mean, I think we stuck up really well against NFC North. I mean, like when I look at all these teams, I mean, if you look at the Vikings, I mean, they have a big hole at their quarterback play. And then if you look at the Bears, their offense, is a big question mark. And you look at the Packers, I mean the Packers, I mean, they're solid, I mean, but they still have a lot of question marks. And then, I mean, I think we had like we're really solid at everywhere. I mean, if you look at the Lions, I mean, like we have a really solid offense. We have really good defense. I mean, there's not really any huge holes on our team. And I can't say that about.
I really concur with you there. On three phases, again, the Lions are doing well. Luke, I got a great question for you, and said, since our guest has joined, this is perfect. On Monday night, the Lions face the Packers for the NFC North showdown. Is this a must-win game for the Lions, and why?
It's hands down a must-win game. They got to win this game. The division is already going crazy as it is. You got teams winning and losing. One day certain teams show up, next day they don't. In the consistency has to come from somebody. In my opinion, that needs to be the Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions have everything set up for them in a way to propel them to the division. I look at the schedule and I say to myself, okay, they beat this team on Monday night. They turn around and the next 3 games you're going against the Giants, you're going against Dallas, and the Raiders. Those are all winnable games. So to me, to set yourself up, you got to get this win, because what that does is it puts you in first place in the division and puts pressure on Green Bay to not lose any more games. And they still got to play Kansas City, I believe, in Kansas City. So for me, this is an absolute must-win game, and it needs to happen.
Now, L. Warmy has a great comment. It says NFC North is the toughest by far when it comes to the division. Lions have good film on Green Bay from the last 4 games. I agree. This division is tough. I mean, every team is a winning team in here. Green Bay is 4-1. It's no slouch of division. And to me, in my opinion, it's a must win, because if you lose this game, it's going to be really hard to catch up with Green Bay. At that point, they'd be 5-1. We're 2-2. That is fairly high of a lead. Now, DeGeneral, what do you think about this? Is this a must-win game?
Well, not for me, because the NFL is long. The NFL is long. You know, I know as a Lions fan, yes, it's a must win. You must win this game to keep me as a good, happy fan. You must win. But as far as in the NFL itself, it's not a must win, or you don't have a chance, because Green Bay has holes, and they will be exposed as the more the competition get difficult. So, you know, I'm not really worried about that. I'm not really worried about losing either. So that's how I feel about that. I feel like we good, even if we lose, as long as it's not a blowout like the Cowboys got done, then we should be in a good position still, you know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't expect for Green Bay to do to us what they did to Dallas. I don't see that happening. First of all, we're not going to let Aaron Jones look like the second coming
Absolutely not.
Bobby Boucher. We ain't going to let that happen. You know, they had him out there looking like Booby off of Friday Night Lights. I'm like, what's going on with this picture? Like, you know, like Dallas didn't give no resistance. And then when they tried to come back, it was like, this y'all comeback attempt. Okay. But the problem with Dallas is the same problem that the Lions used to have. They got terrible coaching. All that talent on that team, and they got poor coaching. But Green Bay ain't finna do that to us. I can promise you that. That's not gonna happen.
Right.
Now, when it comes to a must win, I'm going to throw this one to Detroit Drew, because he is the newest individual to believe in this team. Detroit Drew, is this a must win game?
For both teams, yes, absolutely. Either team cannot afford to lose this game. So, but unfortunately, it's how it works. You know, you're not going to tie again. I think Green Bay is going to get off to a hot start. It's how the last couple of their games have turned out. But both teams have scratched back. You know, it looked like Dallas was out of it. And if Dak doesn't throw 4 interceptions, you know, Dallas would have been in a lot better position. But they still had a chance to win that game. Now, it was a very slim chance, but they still had a chance. Green Bay's defense is a problem, and not a good problem for them. It's a good problem for us, because it is terrible.
It is.
And, you know, if they decide to take carry on the game, if they want to stack the box, fine. Stafford's going to let them up for 350 plus and 3 touchdowns.
Talk to him, Drew.
And if they want to take the passing game out, well, guess what? Carry on's going to hit you for $150.
Talk to him, Drew. Yo,
Green Bay is not matched up well with us, man.
I feel like me and Drew was having foreplay right there a few minutes ago.
Hey, let's not get carried away there, Luke. I don't know that.
No, Luke.
He made a very good point. And he didn't even bring up the fact that whole game when Green Bay was going against them, the Dallas Cowboys tight end core was horrible. Our tight end core gonna eat on that. Yeah. Y'all not gonna be able to just rush like that.
Well,
and let them tight
you gotta look at what Philadelphia did. Philadelphia has a real QB, and they had a good game against them. You know, Green Bay got off to a hot start. I believe it was 10-0.
Yeah, it was 10-0.
And they blew it.
Yep.
And we also didn't talk about how Amari Cooper really had 226 yards on them last game. But,
yeah, you're gonna put Slay on him and lock him down. He's gonna be lucky to get 80 yards this game.
Man, listen, I expect for us to do some big things that game. I really do.
What I see is an issue here is the Lions, I believe, will probably be fully healthy, in my opinion. I think everyone's going to be a full go. And what the issue with the Green Bay Packers is they're hurting. And unfortunately for them, that's not good, specifically when the Lions are coming off a bye full health. And it's going to be it's going to be a mismatch when it comes to the offense versus defensive lines, when it comes their wide receiver versus our secondary. CA3, is this a must-win game for the Lions?
I mean, I believe this is a must-win game because I mean, if we win this game, that basically puts us in the driver's seat to win this division easily. Because you look at our schedule, I mean, we really don't have like any time soon. We don't really have that many tests. I mean, we still got to play another divisional game after we beat the after we beat the Packers. I mean, that's going to be at home. I mean, against the Vikings, and then you play the Giants, then you play the Raiders. I mean, and then you play the Bears. I mean, those are 4 really winnable games for us. So I mean, I think if we don't win this game, I mean, I'm gonna be concerned because I mean, like it makes me concerned about if we can pull out these next games. I mean, because if we're not be able to beat the Packers after a long bye week, I mean, who can we beat? I mean, like.
And that's concerning. It would be concerning for myself as well. Interestingly enough, when the Lions played the Kansas City Chiefs, we gave out a scheme for the rest of the NFL. We played a lot of 4-man rush with a lot of man play in the secondary, locking down their players. What is your thoughts of other teams starting to use our defensive schemes to shut down these high-flying teams such as Kansas City, Luke G?
You know, it's a real sign that these is not the same old Lions. When you got other teams doing things, it used to be the Lions copying people. Now they're copying the Lions. And when you look up, and I think Deion Sanders said it best, every team don't have the personnel to do what the Lions is doing, play that straight man defense and go after people. They don't have that. They have to be able to do their part and make sure that they're getting it covered. In my opinion, when I see that, that tells me that this team is heading in the right direction. That tells me that other teams have taken notice, other coaches have taken notice and said, hey, what they're doing is going to get them very far. We better get on board. Now, I seen Rage MK comment. He said that, you know, they did shut down Ezekiel Elliott on 12 carries and 62 yards. But anybody who knows anything about football, you give Ezekiel Elliott the ball 12 times, that's doing a disservice, you know. I wouldn't want to give 12 carries to carry on. So you want to make sure that you get into a rhythm. And what you're starting to see is go over and look at the opposition side of it. The Colts handed their ball off a whole lot. Go and look at the Green Bay Packers versus that game. They handed the ball off a whole lot. But what you're starting to see is teams are trying to play man that can't do it, and our team can. It's a very good sign that we got the coaches in place for this thing to work.
And one of the things I've been talking about all off season and throughout the year is the strength of the Lions defense is this secondary. It's just so strong compared to years past. Insane with the ability of Rashawn Melvin and Slay playing these man and Coleman in the slot. It's really giving teams issues. If that defensive line can come alive, just imagine the turnovers. The General, give me your thoughts on this one. What do you think about other teams utilizing the schemes that we placed on high-flying teams such as Kansas City as well as the Rams last year?
Well, you know, it's like it's a copycat league. So I like how efficient he is with that as far as the coach being able to implement that way of the gameplay against certain teams and being able to play good doing it. And being one turnover away or one score away from winning, that's what I do respect. They're able to copycat great ways from, you know, the great man Belichick.
Absolutely. And before I get to Big Will, Luke, can you do me a favor?
Absolutely, man. We got 82 people in the building, only 38 likes, and I know we love us some you. So let's get some love right back. Get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit those likes and get them up there nice and high so we can get this video in rotation and circulation and keep getting this thing pushed forward. This is one community, one family. Even though we got a Packers fan in there, he's still part of this football family because he's in our division. And he gives us somebody to kind of talk to. So that's cool. Make sure you hit those likes, get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure if you have not done so that you subscribe to all the members of the DSA.
Absolutely, absolutely. Big Will, what is your take, man, on other teams using our schemes that Matt Patricia is cooking up?
Well, I mean, my take on that is that the show that we're doing something right, and it showed in the Super Bowl last year we were doing something right, and that let the players know we're doing something right. So I mean, I like it. I don't have any gripes against it, but I don't think nobody can do it as well as we're doing it. But I do want to
Exactly.
come in on another thing that we talked about. Far as us winning this game, is it do we have to win this game? And to me, is yes. For the simple fact is, winning teams do not lose back-to-back games. When you become a winning team, you don't lose back-to-back. So that's why we have to win this game because
Man.
I don't want to lose back-to-back.
Man. Boy, I tell
Yeah.
you what, sometimes you scare me, man. You scare me. I didn't think about that. You're right. If you just look at that standpoint of it, losing back to back is a sign of not being a good team. You're probably in the middle of the pack. That's a boy. You own it today. I ain't you own it today. Go on now.
And it's imperative to improve from week to week. If you lose, that's not an improving. That seems to be a regressing, especially losing to Kansas City the way we did. To lose to the Packers, a division right now who's in first place, would really hurt. CA3,
Yes.
thoughts on schemes and other teams utilizing our scheme?
I mean, I think that's very interesting that people are deciding to use deciding to use our scheme because I mean that just shows us how we're improving as a team and how the Lions we're changing like we're going up in the right direction and and I noticed and even the 6-10 Lions, I mean, they're still using some of our schemes, especially against the Rams when we basically exposed the Rams, even though we lost. But I mean, it just shows you that we're getting better and that we're not SOL.
Mm-hmm. Folks, if you're new to the DSA, when we do our roundtables, we do it every single night, whether it be 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We do pre and post shows on game day, and I do play-by-play during the game to give you an inside look of what's taking place during the game. You know, the commentators, they seem to just talk. I like to kind of show you what took place. So if you're in for that, make sure you subscribe to every DSA member and join us. Hit that bell for the notifications. It's very, very good way to get a different insight than what you're used to.
Absolutely. And let you all know, Mike is very entertaining. Like I literally listen to Mike while watching the game because it's better than listening to what they're saying. I mean, if you watched the football game yesterday, it was so boring. They was talking about everything but those two teams. So you definitely want to make sure that you're paying attention to that. Also, we got 84 people in the chat, only 50 thumbs up. Let's get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. I know y'all can do it. Let's get us close to almost 100%.
Detroit Drew, the next question is going to you. In the media and fan base, there are still some doubters when it comes to the Detroit Lions. What does the Lions need to do versus the Packers to change those minds?
Win by double digits. And I think that most of the media is starting to come around. You're starting to see the people buy into this team. I call him Colin Cowturd because this guy's a joke and a clown. He needs to stick to basketball. Even some of his basketball takes are out there, but he doesn't know football. But even he is kind of giving backhanded compliments to the Detroit Lions for what they did against Kansas City. So when you got people like that giving the Lions some credibility, even though it's kind of like backhanded compliments, they're on the right track. Obviously, there's still a ton of people out there who aren't bought into this team. And I think going into Green Bay, I just seen something today that had the Green Bay Packers as Super Bowl contenders, which if somehow they win this division, they aren't going to the Super Bowl. You can't go to the Super Bowl without that defense. So that being said, if from the media standpoint, the Lions are playing a Super Bowl contender, put that in quotation marks. And if they go into Green Bay and put it on them, I don't know how you can knock this team anymore.
I agree with you. Right now, we're actually getting media attention, whether it be positive or negative. It's more than what we're used to getting. If you've seen what the Bleacher Report just posted, that kind of explains what's taking place right now.
Man.
Detroit Drew, just go into it. I know you want to talk about it. Hit it right now.
Man, Bleacher Report is the real clown, man. That was terrible. Calling Matthew Stafford the Joker and saying that the Lions are a tragedy. It's a comedy. Get out of here with that. The Lions didn't do anything wrong, okay? It's not like the Lions are 0-4, 0-5. No. We have played a full month of football and have 1 L. I don't understand where all this hate's coming from. Bleacher Report should be embarrassed. And that's not going to hold up well, man. Because if the Lions can win this division, I'm going back, man, and I'm sharing this all over social media to show you what fake media looks like. Because I guarantee you, once the Lions start performing, or once they put it on Green Bay, Bleacher Report's going to start sucking us again, man. It's going to be fun to watch.
Absolutely.
Listen, I had the same response that you have, that it was disrespectful and uncalled for. And then it was a Riff who said that it was more of, it wasn't meant to be disrespectful, although it was disrespectful to Matthew Stafford. He said that it was more to show how the Lions went from being like this tragedy to a comedy thing. And I said, okay, I didn't look at it like that, because when I watched it, you got this man watching another dude's back, and I'm like, what is this? For what? You know, and then said,
no, it's disrespectful, Luke. They had Kirk Cousins making fun of Matthew Stafford. How is that not disrespectful?
It had Mr. Trubisky making fun of him.
That's just ridiculous.
It was embarrassing.
That's embarrassing.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you why it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I'm not saying it's embarrassing to the Lions. It was embarrassing for the Bleacher Report, because it was funny to non-Lions fans, but to the Lions fans, we like, oh, so that's what we doing? We getting this kind of disrespect? Okay. And I get what they was trying to do, but I thought the way they did it was not the most tasteful way. I'm going to do a video about it, because I got to talk about them. I got to clown on them, and I got to talk about them. And to me, the thing that I saw in that video was just like, for 59 seconds, it was a lot to be said in there. You know, like he had a sign that he was twirling that says fastest to 30,000, and Khalil Mack come and push him in the street. Like what are we doing here? So it was absolutely embarrassing on their part, because they could have did so much. So much. Okay. So that's how I look at it. I think there's a very good way that they could have went about doing it, and it'd have been way more tasteful than what we just saw.
And it was tasteless and ignorant. To assume that Trubisky and Cousins is better than Stafford is ridiculous. And are you kidding me? I could see Aaron Rodgers. He's been a stud. But those two guys.
Yeah.
But
that's
still,
great.
can I say one thing, man?
Go ahead, man.
About not these people shouldn't even be in the same sentence as Stafford. What it is the Stafford end up not getting a lot of respect because of the bad taste people had in their mouth from Detroit, period. You know what I'm saying? So when Stafford came in, it was a bad situation for him. So even if he showcased the best quarterback ever to play the game, he would still not be known as that, because the team has already put a bad taste in everybody's mouth, and they was never structured for Stafford anyway, as far as being ready to dominate and take over. He took that team from nothing to something, and now they something bigger. So all the Stafford things, everybody got something to say for Stafford's. I haven't seen any of them guys do any comebacks that's worth watching again, you know, and it's just things like that aggravate me. That's why it's Detroit versus there.
Right.
Man.
Yeah, Rip Distortion says you guys are taking this too serious. And Brian Smith said, I just thought it was funny. Gridiron Heights roasts everybody. I never heard of this thing called Gridiron Heights. And in all honesty, and all I did was put in Bleacher Report and Google to go and look at some news. And the first thing that popped up was that video. And I'm like, oh, word? It's trending.
No, I mean, he's right. They do make fun of everybody, but why pick on Matthew Stafford? Like, out of everything you could have made fun of the Lions for, you made fun of Matthew Stafford, which none of this is his fault. I mean, I don't want them to do it, but you could have made fun of the Lions for ruining Barry Sanders and Megatron. I mean, those are pretty, like, blockbuster things that have happened to this organization. Matthew Stafford hasn't done anything wrong. Not that Barry or Calvin did, but Stafford's still here, and we're in a good shape right now. I don't get it.
That's exactly how I feel.
Absolutely. CA3 or Big Will, do you have anything else to add to that or any of the media reaction?
Yeah, I just don't understand why, especially came at this time. I mean, it's not like we're doing bad. Like, and you pick Matthew Stafford out of everybody. I mean, who's basically just turned his organization around from nothing. I mean, like, I don't understand why you picking on the guy like who's played through injuries. I mean, what has he done bad to his organization that he's deserved that? That made him deserve that. Like, I don't know.
Right.
I believe it's fair. they're scared that the Lions about to do something, so they're trying to come with all this negativity to get everybody off of it. So I all we have to do is win, and it'll go away.
All we do is win, win, win.
You know, I follow somebody on Twitter who said it was disrespectful to the new Joker movie, which I have not seen yet. So I don't know if that's good or bad.
It's a good movie. I loved it.
And correct me if I'm right or wrong. Correct me if I'm right or wrong. Kerryon Johnson sound off on it on Twitter, right?
Yes, he did.
Kerryon Johnson was in the video.
Yes, he sound off.
They put him in the video. Even he was like, "What the f did I just watch? What is this?" Like, so. Now here's the thing. Riff Distortion is saying that we're looking at it all wrong. He says that it showed that the Lions have become relevant. I get it, but I understand it from this side too, Riff. What if everybody ain't seen the Joker movie? How would they get that from that image? If you ain't seen the Joker movie, you don't get the reference. What you see is Matthew Stafford looking pathetic, getting poked on by Kirk Cousins and Mitchell Trubisky of all people.
Even then, it's still not a good reference. Like, not looking at it like that standpoint, because I seen the trailer and it determined like I really didn't want to see the Joker movie because it didn't look that good to me. But I get this is the turning point, and I think they're trying to say in a comical way that the Lions are good, but it makes it look like Stafford's a clown who just gets beat up all the time and can't do anything to defend himself. So I mean, it wasn't like if you wanted to go that route, you could have done the Dark Knight, where at least there was some action in the movie, and you could have done something cooler. I don't know. You didn't even have to bring the Joker into it. I don't even know why that was like the thing. Right, it's only because it's trending, clickbait.
Okay, let's jump to the next question here. Do the Lions have a winning formula with Patricia, Bevel, and Pascaloni, Luke G?
Man, listen. I love this question because I think this is a very good formula for winning right now. I think there's one part of the formula that can be better, and that's the defensive coordinator. I really do think that Matt Patricia is the one who's calling the defense. I think he's giving his mentor a chance to get another shot in the NFL. I get it. But the way they're calling these games is different. The offense is more aggressive. It's more creative. The defense, which looks like it should not be doing what it's doing because they're not getting all these sacks, but they're generating turnovers. They're getting 3 and outs. They're playing sound football. And now that the special teams are starting to come on, all 3 phases are starting to play as a unit. This is the exact blueprint that the New England Patriots employed after they started off with Belichick. What was that 6-10, I want to say it was, and then they took off. This could be the makings of it, and it starts off by getting 1 win at a time. They got to start off by getting a win on Monday, and I think they will. But this formula of these coaches together, working together each week, are getting better and better and better. And to me, that is absolutely a winning formula where you can make adjustments like that.
And you bring up an interesting point of how the Browns, when they had Bill Belichick, they got rid of him way too early because they had a bad year when he was implementing his new scheme. Just like last year, the Lions play bad. My opinion was they're going 6-10, and long and behold, that's what they did. They had to get the players they needed to implement their scheme. It's very imperative to have the individuals in place to implement what you want to run. If you do not have those pieces in place, your chess, your pawns in place, how can you make the correct move to defeat the opponent? And that's kind of how I see it.
Now, really quick, before we skip forward, I put the video on Twitter, and First Black Man on the Net made a post. I want to read what he says. He says, well, like I always say, winning, you don't get this garbage. We just happen to be a few fans that believe in this new front office. Our poor front office decisions of the last 50 years has left our fan base and mainstream media looking at us like the joke. I can respect that. Because I think that's exactly what it is. That level of trauma, the going through the Matt Millen era and all that stuff. Yeah, I can see that. But I just feel like at this point, we definitely shouldn't even be. We shouldn't be getting that not right now. And you know what? I take it back. Give it to him right now. I want Stafford to come out because A-Rod been talking about what he do better in drinking. Or he can win in drinking beer. I do something else better. Okay, well, we going to show you on Monday how that's about to go down. Give them more fire to get lit underneath their butt. But I had to put
exactly. That's what I feel. That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
Can we
Keep
just talk
talking.
about Aaron Rodgers dating Dana Patrick, whatever that race car driver's name is? Like,
They still together? I thought they broke up.
I don't know, but like, if that's what your quarterback can pull in, like, that's not a very good ratio for him. Like, come on, bro. Like, you think
Hey, she's smarter than Jessica Simpson, who Tony Romo had. So I got
yeah, but
credit
at
for that.
least Jessica Simpson in her prime was attractive.
Hey, she's fast. Good one, and you're done.
I bet Aaron Rodgers is fast too.
Y'all got me dying.
That was a good one, Mike.
Now listen, the general view got a question, so make sure you put that one up there. I think it's a good one. Does the bye week help or hurt the momentum we built up for the first 4 games? That's a very good question. I think it helps because we were starting to take some injuries in some spots that we shouldn't have had. We should have Slade back. We should have Diggs back. Hopefully, Hand plays. TJ Hawkinson should be back. This couldn't have came at a better time. It should keep the momentum going. It should definitely help us.
Yeah, specifically injuries. It's so important, man, because we were hurting at the end of the Kansas City game when Diggs went down, Slade didn't play. We have not even seen Deshaun Hand yet, our stud defensive tackle. And it gives time not just to rest their body, but rest their minds and pay attention to what Green Bay's doing so they can prepare for it. You know, how Green Bay got up to that 30-3 lead, how Green Bay really took away Dak Prescott and the stuff that they did during that Dallas game. I think it's imperative, and it does help, in my opinion. Detroit Jew, does it help?
Did you just call me Detroit Jew?
No. Detroit
Anyway,
Jew.
I'm just playing with you. Anyway, I think it helps because I think we emptied a lot in the tank in that game. Even if we weren't banged up the way we were, we might come out a little bit stale if we had to play the next week. So I'm kind of thankful in that regard that we do have a bye week. So that way we can study for Green Bay for that 2-week period that we have. We get some rest. We get healthier. Like I said, that 2 week of studying your opponent, it's very underlooked. And you know how Matt Patricia's been for this team already with his game plan. What he's done for this team this season has been very, very impressive just with his schemes. Well, you add 2 extra weeks to that, and you're going to have a very good game plan against Green Bay. You're going to be healthy. It's going to be a dogfight, but the Lions are going to come out on top in this one.
And we love dogfights. I love playing the Green Bay Packers. I love playing the NFC North because they know each other, and it's a definite dogfight. These games mean much more than any other game. Playing your division, it's a must win if you want to win the division. If the Lions want to take that next step, they must go in Green Bay and win. It's very imperative if they want to go ahead and win the NFC North. Now, Big Will, do we have a winning formula with Patricia, Bevel, and Pascaloni?
I believe so, and it's getting better and better every week. I believe this bye week just gave us a refocus with all 3 of them, and they're starting to come together and build off each other. So I can see some great things happening in the second half. The offensive line is getting in better shape. I mean, the defensive line is getting in better shape. So I can see a lot of things happening in this second half.
Yeah.
Absolutely. DeGeneral, do you believe we have the winning formula with the coaches currently in place?
Absolutely. We had a formula. What we got to do is take the formula. You know, we got to be veterans. I understand that we have young people on the team, but in situations we cannot let a touchdown. How can I say it? Hold on. Let me get it together. So first of all, you remember the fumble Stafford had.
Correct.
Okay. So when Stafford had that fumble, it was because he was trying to force it. But you got 3 more downs, at least 2, if you think it was first down. So what a veteran would have took that loss, took the sack or whatever, and came out to fight another day. You have to teach them how to be content with what they have and not force it. And that's exactly what Kerryon Johnson did also. So if we can stay focused and focus on the formula and not force it and take what they give us, I don't see a team except the Patriots. That's how I feel, man.
You make a fantastic point when you say that understanding the situational awareness, what down it is, where you're at on the field. And I think what we're seeing week to week is the team getting better and in the little things. If you look from week 1 to against Kansas City, it's a whole different team, in my opinion. They're growing smarter in their scheme and understanding the presence they are at compared to what they were initially. Now, these little things, like you said, Matthew Stafford knowing what down it is, literally us turning the ball over and him not knowing that pretty much cost us the game. Same with the Kerryon Johnson where it flipped 14 points. Right. So as long as the coaches can instill these little more details, it can really get much, much better.
Exactly.
And with talking about what the winning formula is with these coaches, CA3, here's the big question, and I want you to answer it honestly and truthfully. Are the Lions contenders, real contenders?
Like Super Bowl contenders or playoff contenders?
Playoff contenders.
I mean, yeah, I think we are real. We are real playoff contenders because I mean, we're showing more consistency, and and we've been in every game basically. I mean, we're showing consistency and we're showing the ability to adjust game by game. And if we start to win more, I mean, I can't necessarily crown us playoff contenders yet. But from what I've seen so far, we are playoff contenders. But I just need to see more consistency for me to completely crown them playoff contenders.
Hey, if you're gonna crown them, right?
I mean, it's only been a month. I mean, it's not enough. I mean, there's still more season left.
I get it. And Rage MK says he is excited as well. I'm about to throw some facts at y'all lives, and I am so excited to hear them. It's really good to get a different perspective from a non-Lions fan who actually understands the game and facts. Yep. Luke G, big time question. Here
Let me plug this in, though, really quick. Let me plug this in because I know you're going to ask me, and I know. Make sure that y'all get those likes up, first off. Secondly, if you want to come on a round table with us and be a part of the conversation, you're going to have to get on Twitter or Discord and reach out to us because we don't know. You don't know if you want to do it. And then we'll work through setting it up so y'all can come on and join us. The General 313 hit us up. He's on the show. Rage MK is like, I want to come on and talk about my Green Bay Packers. He's going to hit me up on Twitter, I guarantee you, or on Discord, and he's going to be on the show. So if you want to come on the show and talk a little sports with us, all you got to simply do is call me. That's it.
I know we got to have J-Mo on that show when we had the Packers fan in here.
Oh, man.
You might want to have a censor button too, Mike.
Yes, definitely.
Hey, Luke G is hosting that show on Thursday, so
Right.
Lucky me, I don't need to censor anyone.
Right. We're going to be good.
Luke, here's the question, Luke. Are we real contenders?
You know what? I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes. Now, you may be wondering, why did I pause? I really want to push home this level of disrespect that they have been getting. I want them to believe that that people don't believe that they're a legitimate team, and I want them to come out every day and show it. So to me, yeah, I picked them to go 11-5. They tied a game. That is what it is. But when I look at this team, most complete. Brandon Marshall said it best. They got everything. They got receivers. They got tight ends. They got running back. They got an offensive line that's serviceable. And the defense, while it's not doing a lot of pass rush, they're still effective. They got young linebackers who many of us thought was going to be a weakness. And then on top of that, they got good depth and good rotation. This team is absolutely a legitimate contender. And if anybody thinks opposite, they're fooling themselves. Even if the Lions lost the game against the Packers, which they won't, you have to still understand that they're going to be a contender. Now, if they just come out and lay down and lay an egg, my voice is going to be a little bit different. That show going to be different. But in my opinion, they are absolutely a contender.
Big Will, This is now for you. It is time to answer the question that many Lions fans want to know. Is this team a contender?
Yes, I believe they are a contender. I lived in this life, and I seen the Giants win a Super Bowl. I seen Tampa Bay win a Super Bowl. I seen Baltimore win a Super Bowl without quarterback.
St. Louis Rams.
So I'm just saying. So if that can happen, we're definitely there.
Right.
You know, when I seen this team, I wanted to know, is this team a contender? What was one thing I was really paying attention to? Not just the offseason with the acquisitions that Bob Quinn did via depth, but against this Kansas City Chiefs team, a lot of our key playmakers were not on the team, specifically defense. And that defense, that secondary, held up fantastic. Rashawn Melvin has been such a fantastic number 2. He stepped in number 1, shut it down. Coleman, he's killing it in the slot right now. This young safeties we got, the amazing job they did with their backup players shows you that this is a contender. What's imperative for a team to take it to that next level? We got to understand that players are going to get injured. How can these backups perform in their place? A quality backup, a great depth can jump in that spot, and it's not a huge loss, and that's what we've seen. What also did we see? We seen Matt Patricia make a scheme against the Kansas City Chiefs that really just gave the blueprint to the rest of the NFL how to stop them. Go ahead and contain Patrick Mahomes and play man, and it worked. It worked. Look what the Indianapolis Colts did. That's exactly what they did, and they got the W.
Facts.
The General, 313, is this a contender?
Absolutely, we're contenders. Oh man, I can't see. To be honest with you, the NFC people looking at all these teams is only good because of what the people on the commentating say. It's not because they're speaking off the talent itself and how talented these teams really are. You know, the teams that they don't even talk about. I don't even hear nothing about the 49ers. One of the best teams in the league as far as play calling. You know, it's like whoever the commentators want to boost up, that'll be the great teams in people's mind. But if you do your research on these teams and what they're doing, just like they boosted the Cowboys, then the Cowboys drop an egg. It's not because it was a bad game. It was because they didn't really play anybody. And when it all come to light, you do your own research and you can break down every team yourself, and you will see most of these teams not even as great as they boost up.
Hey, so they are who we thought they were.
Right on.
And we let them off the hook.
The late great man. I love that coach. Detroit Drew.
Yes,
is this
sir.
a contender? You were the last one when it comes to the DSA on saying that you believed in the Lions. So I really love your insight in this question.
Well, I always thought they were playoff contenders. It wasn't like I thought this team was going to be bad. I just didn't think they were going to be this good. I thought they were going to be 9-7 heading into the season, which is still a 3-game improvement, fighting for a wild card spot. Well, things have changed, and now they have a very good opportunity to go out and beat a division rival and really take control of the NFC North. I mean, this division is still wide open. I mean, we're only a month into the season. We've only played 4 games. But the thing that you always look for, no matter if you want to talk Lions or whoever, you want to see adjustments, you want to see improvements, and the Lions are doing this every time they need to. Every time the Lions look like something might go wrong with them on one side of the field, they correct it. And, you know, Patricia has done just an extremely great job of getting the players in the locker room to like him. Now, they might not be buddies. They might not go out to get beers after the game or whatever, but they respect him. They want to play hard for him, and they believe in him. And that Kansas City game tells me more than any other of what I just said. That game tells me more than the rest of the 3 games we played this season. And we lost that game and won the 2 other ones. I am all in on this team. This team has probably one of the best opportunities to win a playoff game. Now, that is going to depend if they win this division or not. If they get a wild card, they won't win a game because more than likely they'll have to play somewhere tough. I do not want to play in Seattle. And I think Seattle's going to win their division over the Rams. However, if they can win their division, Ford Field would be insane. I would have to save my money and go to that game because I just want to experience that environment, because that's going to be something we have never seen before, and who knows if we'll see it again. If this team wins their division and gets a home playoff game, there is no way that team can lose.
Yep, I agree with that. I agree with that.
Hey, Drew, what about the Niners, though, bro? You just get right past them.
I don't believe in them yet. They haven't played anybody.
Yep, me neither.
Yeah, they haven't played anybody. I just like their running. I just like the running back core. That's about it.
Like, I mean, but it's not even that. It's not even that. If you look at the 49ers, in all honesty, like, I'm not even trying to be funny. Just look at the 49ers and how they win in these games. I mean, you got to give them respect because of their record, I guess. Yeah. But when I watch their games, I'm like, God, like, how bad did the Browns have to be? Dropping touchdown catches. I mean, it was horrible. How bad? I mean,
how many opportunities did the Steelers have to give up, though?
Hey, I must say, though, I picked the 49ers to rebound this year. I thought they had an ample opportunity to really change their team. I like Kyle Shanahan. I love what they did with that defensive line, scary as hell. And Garoppolo, he may not be the best quarterback in the NFL, but I thought he can do well enough to take this team somewhere. I don't think they're a slouch team. Are they going to go undefeated? No. But
of course not.
I would definitely not say they're a bad team.
They're a wild card team.
I want to ask a quick question.
Go ahead.
Have anybody took the time to look at the play calling on these guys? Like have y'all really even like really looked into the plays that they call, the timing of the plays, the switching of the plays, and really, you know why I like San Fran's running offense is because they doing the old school. They got some old school swag with they running. What we used to have with Corey Schlesinger and Barry Sanders, if anybody remember, you know, we had that what was that, the I formation.
Yeah.
And we dominated. Like it's a lot of things that I like about San Francisco play calling. And if you pay attention and look at the highlights or whatever you go through, then you will see too, like, wow, they mixing it up.
I can tell you this much. When I watched that game, I did notice that they was playing some old school football. And I thought, honestly, I said, the person who kept getting my attention was George Kittle. I literally saw 4 different plays where he blocked 4 people on one play. I don't even know how that's possible. Like, he literally blocked 4 people leading a runner down the field. I'm like, this is not normal. So, those little things add up. And I think those little things that you're seeing are direct results like you speak of. Now, we got 97 people in the chat, only 69 likes. We got our residential 1 thumbs down. Can we get those likes up to at least 90? We're trying to get as close to 100% as possible. Also, let me do a quick update. The front runner right now for the Pick'em League is John Jones with 53 points. Second is Kedrix. Third is 12th Man Pride. And Luke G is 13th. Now, don't be fooled. I still got time to bounce back. Y'all gonna have to pray for me, but I got a chance. CA Sports Talk is number 12. So he's ahead of me. General G Berry is number 7. You Can Hate Me Now McKenzie, who actually missed the whole week and somehow still is number 8. Micro Mike is number 6. Let me repeat that again. Micro Mike is number 6. Mars is Landon is number 14. Let me see where you at, Will. Detroit Zone Big Will is number 24. Yeah, it's looking real rough for you. Elliot Source TV is 29. I'm just really pointing out. Ghost Gunner is 34. And TA of Noble Sports Entertainment is 37. I will be doing a video showing you where everybody landed after this week. So stay tuned to that on my channel.
Absolutely. And hey, if you want to crown me, crown me. I'm ahead of the DSA. I like it that way, and I like to play.
Hey, it's only 4 weeks, man.
Hey, you got to crown me.
Right.
So one thing I love about talking about Lion Sports and why my name is Micro Mike is I like to get into the micro details about things, specifically when it comes to the Lions, the matchup and key matchup. Detroit Drew, What key matchup are you looking forward to when the Lions face the Packers? What is the matchup you're paying real close attention to?
You're playing against some of the best quarterbacks in the league. So I'm looking at maybe not the answer you were expecting, but the answer you're going to get. Matthew Stafford versus Aaron Rodgers. Matthew Stafford outplayed Patrick Mahomes in MVP. And if they want to, this could probably answer part of the question we answered earlier. If they really want to get the media on their side and for people to stop talking bad about not only the Lions, but Matthew Stafford in general, why don't you go from outplaying an MVP to outplaying Aaron Rodgers? If you outplay Aaron Rodgers and beat the Packers, that means back-to-back games you beat so-called the two best quarterbacks in the league. That would be huge, not for just motivation, but that would be huge for Matthew Stafford's legacy because they talk about how he can't beat these elite teams. That would be pretty impressive in my opinion. And plus, it's fun TV. Monday Night Football, you know they're going to talk about Clayton Kershaw and Matthew Stafford being buddies. What a good way to shut those guys up by just going out there and dominating this game today, or I guess Monday.
Hey, man, that definitely is a key matchup paying attention to. Going against Patrick Mahomes and then Aaron Rodgers, it's a tough task, and I think he's up to it, but definitely something to pay attention to. Big Will, what is a key matchup that you're looking forward to when it comes to the Lions versus the Packers?
Okay, the key matches I'm looking up for, it's kind of weird, but it's the offensive lines of both teams. I know it's a little different, but I want to see which team dominate, what offensive line dominate, because that's who's gonna win.
Okay. Now let me ask you this though. What if it doesn't come down to that? Because I know that Green Bay is going to attempt to try to run the ball on them like they did the Cowboys. I know they're not going to achieve that. They're not. I know that we're going to try to run the ball on them. We're going to have a hard task with that as well. But I think, to me, the question should be more so is what happens when both offensive lines is not meeting the standard?
See, and that's the thing. But I really do believe that the Lions offensive line can stand up to this. And I believe if you get pressure on Aaron Rodgers, he's a different quarterback. If you can keep detained and get pressure on him at the same time, I'll put it like that. You can't let him out the pocket. Basically, they're gonna play him the same way they did Mahomes. So that's they already shown that they can do it, and that's the same way they're gonna play this week.
Okay, all right. I thought I'd put a little twist on it for you, just a little bit. Just to put it out there. But I can tell you this: for me, the matchup that I'm looking at is our tight ends versus their linebackers. I've said it from the day I saw the schedule. Zadarius Smith, you think he's a nice piece, then Preston Smith is a nice piece. Who are you asking to cover TJ Hawkinson, Logan Thomas, and Jesse James? Huh?
This is going to be the game Green Bay realizes they're going to be missing Clay Matthews.
Oh yeah. They're going to have a big problem with it because you can't just rush those guys now. Somebody got to go with, somebody's got to go with the tight end, and we got 3 good tight ends. So my matchup for me is tight end versus everybody. Who's going to run with those tight ends? That's what I want to know. You gonna put a safety on them? Cool. Now I'm gonna dot you up over the top with Kenny Galladay, Marvin Jones. I mean, let's be honest. And don't let Danny Amendola come back this game. Who's your best slot corner? Tremaine Williams, what's his name? No.
You mean old Tremaine Williams?
Whatever his name is, whatever. He ain't gonna keep up. So these matchups favor the Lions. So for me, the matchup that I look at the most is who's going to stop the tight end. Now I see Rage MK says, "Come on, man, stop it." But that's the real matchup right there. Who is stopping the tight ends? You ignore them if you want to. Go back and watch the Cardinals game. Go watch how the Eagles covered them.
Absolutely. I'm going to jump in here and give you something different that you may not expect. And actually, James Willis kind of brings up my thought. The Green Bay Packers did a lot of blitzes. Their linebackers are fantastic when it comes to getting to the quarterback. They're definitely getting sacks. They're definitely rushing the passer. One of the weapons that Darrell Bevell can utilize is the screen pass, specifically McKissick. That's what we're seeing them utilize when players are blitzing Matthew Stafford. They get in that screen game, give it to McKissick, and he makes some plays down the field. I think this is something I'm definitely paying attention to when the blitz. How many times are they going to negate the blitz by a quick pass or a screen pass to a McKissick? This is vital because they do get pressure on the quarterback, and their linebackers are great on the edge. So that's something I'm definitely going to pay attention to.
Yeah, it's a good matchup. I think McKissick. I hope I said his name right, because if I don't, J-Mo gonna kill me. Shout out to J-Mo. And shout out to Noble Sports Entertainment. Obviously, we got him. We got Nomus J in the building. Who else? I know I'm not missing nobody. Yes, I am. I'm missing the Big Take. I'm missing Positively Detroit. The rest of us is pretty much right here. So if I miss somebody, I apologize. It's been a long day, but I think your matchups make a lot of good sense, because now they're going another problem for them. They can't cover everybody. You just can't.
And that's what the issue that the Lions offense is dealing to defenses is there's so many weapons, from wide receivers to running back and to the tight ends. There's always someone open. And this is something that I've been telling every fan base every week. And they find out, yes, it is true. Definitely true. A lot of people are getting open. There's separation from the wide receivers, from the safeties or corners. There's separation when it comes to the running back. And TJ Hawkinson is always open, just always open. The General 313, what is a key matchup that you are paying attention to?
The run game, man. I'm paying attention to the line, the front line. Who gonna allow the runner to go crazy? That's the whole thing in my eyes. The first team that allowed a runner to go crazy, that's the team that's gonna win. Period. Because you have to think this just because he's not a McHomie, don't mean he's not talented. This McHolmes makes sense where I'm going. He can run out of the pocket. He can also, he's great with long passing. We've been killed by that before. And matter of fact, I was in a bar with about 12 Packer fans. This was in Texas, and it was just me. And they had one Hail Mary play left, and I was talking more junk than a little bit. They threw that Hail Mary, Rodgers, and got a touchdown.
Oh.
I had to run out of the bar because I didn't have nobody but me, man. So what it's going to have to be is keep the ball out of Rodgers' hands. Keep his chances away from him. Stop the run. You run it and you dominate on the run, then he can't kill you. You know what I'm saying? The main thing is not letting Rodgers kill us. That's the only thing they can do is kill us with Rodgers. That's it.
When that play took place, you know how I say damn a lot when I'm doing my play-by-play? There was a lot of dams coming out after that play. I had to walk outside.
I ain't never been hurt, man. That crushed me. That crushed my soul.
Hey, I just got to help. Did you pay your tab first, or did you walk out without paying?
Oh, no. It's just drinks. I don't drink that much, so, it wasn't nothing. I could walk away from that.
Oh.
Yeah.
That Hail Mary, that was the first game that I got like end zone tickets in. So I'm sitting in that end zone, and I'm telling you, I'm sitting there, right?
Damn.
I'm sitting there, and I look at that video all the time, trying to see if I can see myself. But everybody did the same reaction. You can't see me at all. But I'm telling you, I'm sitting here, and I saw him box, and I said, if somebody don't get in front of him, somebody get in front of him. And it just dropped down. I just said, you have got to be kidding me. So I do know what you mean by that part of it. I think that's the hugest part. I see Rage MK said that they don't even got a blitz to get pressure. I guess Rashawn Gary going to do that, huh? Oh, wait. He's nobody. My bad. I was tripping a little bit.
Yes, definitely. Luke G is not a Gary fan. Definitely watched his film, not a whole lot because he don't like him.
Listen, and I compared him to Taco Charlton. That's how I compared him. I said when I watched Taco Charlton, he got all this hype for being fast and strong at the combine, and I said, but the film don't show that. The film didn't show somebody who was doing that. And to me, that's one of the things where I had to look at it and say, okay, if the film is not showing that, I got to go by what the film say. And the film told me that Taco Charlton was going to be some trash. Thank God Dallas took him, so we ain't had to worry about him. And Rashawn Gary is going to be just as trash. He's not somebody that you're gonna count on. He'll be hurt by the second quarter, and if not, they're not gonna utilize him a lot. I just don't see him being good. So I get it, but Preston and Zadarius Smith, okay. You act like y'all got Khalil Mack and JJ Watts. It's not for the pop.
You're overthinking it, man. You're overthinking it. All you gotta do is put Kenny Wiggins out there. We'll be all right.
True.
Bum, 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 bum. Wiggins, if you're listening to this, you shouldn't be. Next, speaking of injuries.
I mean, I didn't answer this question, but okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh.
But I think I personally think the key matchup in this game would, because I don't want to copy y'all. I mean, I think another key matchup in this game could be, the wide receiver against their corners, because I remember the last few games we played against the Packers, we tore up that secondary, and I think we can do that again.
Yeah. Look, the weapons and skill players that we have on offense can do damage, and they have been doing damage, and that's the net result of having TJ Hawkinson in there. He's really opening a lot of players up, and we're seeing separation that we haven't seen in a while. Also, we got Daryl Bevel in there, not KFC. That's a big, huge upgrade. Mm-hmm. Absolutely huge. When it comes to key injuries, Luke G, I'll throw this to you. What player? I already know my player, but what player do you want to see come out from injury and play against the Packers? I already know mine's going to be taken.
That's easy.
Yeah, for me, it's real easy. The one player I need to see come out just for this game, the one player that I know that needs to come, it has to be Darius Slay, because Devontae Adams is coming back this game, and all you need is Darius Slay to eliminate him, and Green Bay can figure out the rest in prayer. So I want Slay back because I want to be able to just leave him be and not have to worry about rotating safety coverage over there with Devontae Adams. But, for me, he's the first player that I look at that got to come back healthy. Now, if he don't, we're just going to play our regular defense, and we still going to win. It's going to be a little bit tighter than I would like it to be.
Now, you know how much I love Devontae Adams. That is one of the guys who I thought is top 5 receiver, and I show much respect to him. I took a lot of heat for it, but I do like the guy.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Doesn't he have turf toe, though?
Yeah, he does.
And turf toe, we know, I think it was Javid Best. It really screwed up his season, and it affects the play, specifically route running and changing direction. So that'll be curious to see if he does play. I wonder if he'll be straight instead of actually changing and doing more slant passes and stuff like that. So we'll definitely see that. But I definitely could see Darius Slay being a huge, huge individual to watch to come back from injury. CA3. What is the player you want to see coming back from injury against the Packers?
I personally, I want to see. Luke had a good one, but personally, I want to see how Mike Daniels plays, man. I want to see how he plays against his team at Lambeau, man. I want to see him destroy Aaron Rodgers, man. Put him in the coffin.
Now, that'll be interesting because he hasn't done a whole lot when he was on the field and he was injured. But he's going to have an extra little motivation come this game if he does play. And it'll be curious to see how well he can defeat the offensive lineman and attempt to get to Aaron Rodgers. Big Will, what is an individual that you're paying attention to that you want to see come back from injury?
I'm going to say TJ Hawkinson, because he's the one that can open up the field for us.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a huge one. I mean, that's the one I think wins the game.
Yeah.
That's the one I think wins the game. But, they're going to bring out Devontae Adams, and that's going to be the only receiver threat to combat what we're doing. But for us, we got Hawkinson play.
Yeah, that's going to open up the whole middle of the field for us. So,
and when it comes to TJ Hawkinson, I do believe he's going to play. He was in concussion protocol, but he was also at a college game this past weekend. And when it comes to concussion protocol, you don't want to be around loud noises and bright lights and things of that nature. And so to me, he must be feeling fairly well to actually be at a loud game. So I think the excitement is there for him to be on the field. Now, General 313, what player are you looking for to come back from injury?
All right, every single soul that we need them all. But
you said everybody hurt need to come back.
hey, I'm with
Danny,
it
all of
all.
them.
Yeah,
Oh, my
man. Hey,
God.
why not? It's been 2 weeks. I want to see Hand. I really want to see Hand. One time, I want to see Hand one game, man. Let me see my guy. See if he ready. Just see if he ready.
Blue and
You
Stevens
know?
says he want to see Austin Bryant. He still ain't got a chance to see the Austin Bryant. Austin Bryant is on injury reserve with destination to return. So we see what happened with that.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like Amendola is cool. We got somebody who can kind of replace you as far as from what I seen. Hawkinson, we got tight ends. We got tight ends to do the damn thing too. Also, but who I really want to shine, and I know if he play, he will shine. Is Mike Daniels, because for some reason it's a pride thing. I don't care if you're tired, you have injured. If it's pride, then you're gonna make it work. And I feel like if Mike Daniels get on that field, he gonna make it real hard, because he got something to prove. You got rid of me when I was in my prime to watch this. So that's how I feel. I want Mike Daniels to come back and showcase and get a couple sacks on Rodgers. Probably break him up a little bit.
I want to specifically thank everyone for not getting into detail about the player who I want to see, who I've been wanting to see the whole time, because I spoke to him personally and I said, man, you're going to the Pro Bowl. And he looks at me and he says, you damn straight I am. That's Deshaun Hand. This guy was a disruptor down the middle. He can play inside. He can play on the end. He was crushing it last year. He was definitely breaking the offensive lineman. He was the best rookie defensive tackle last year, and he definitely was disrupting the line. We have not seen this guy yet, and I am ready. I am absolutely ready to see this young stud get in there and help this defensive line take it to the next level, because in my opinion, the defensive line has been lackluster compared to what I thought they're going to be. I thought they're going to be better than what they were, and they haven't. They have not been to my expectations, and I feel just maybe that Deshaun Hand can bring and elevate that defensive line up, and if he can, with the talented secondary that we have, ho from Santa Claus, because it's going to be exciting.
Wait, am I reading this right now, Mike? Am I reading this? Rage MK says Irv Smith Jr. thought the same thing about Jerry Alexander. Are you talking the corner? Okay, let me walk through you. Let me walk you through this. Let me help you. Okay. Irv Smith is a very good tight end. He's somebody that I liked. He was a person I had on the Lions watch list. What makes Irv Smith different than TJ Hockenson is TJ Hockenson can do what Irv Smith can do, but block. And what makes TJ Hockenson even more special is TJ Hockenson knows how to get open in the routes. Irv Smith, go back and look at his career, had that really good season. It was nice. But let's be honest, your tight end core evolves around Graham. He's not fast anymore. He's coverable. That's not going to be a problem for us. And by the way, your tight end core does not have the ability to do what our tight end core can do. But you're going to find out come Monday. Don't worry about it. And we're going to talk about it on Thursday. So y'all want to make sure y'all tune into that because we're going to have Mr. Rage MK on, man. We're going to keep it clean and respectful. And wait a minute. Who's a more complete tight end? Oh, TJ Hockenson is a more complete tight end because he can block. Okay. Irv Smith is a better catcher. Oh, no, I disagree with that. Irv Smith ain't no better catcher. I mean, don't worry about it. You're going to find out, though. You're going to find out.
Okay, Detroit Drew, question for you. What player from the Packers are you most concerned about?
I mean, really the only player that really concerns me is Aaron Rodgers, because outside of that, I mean, they don't really have too many playmakers offensively or defensively. Adams isn't going to be effective without Aaron Rodgers. So you have to stop their best player. And if you can do that, you're going to have the best opportunity to win. I'm not worried about Jones because if both Max and Daniels are playing, you're not going to run up the middle. And the way that our linebackers are playing, Davis and Tavai and all them fellas up there, I mean, they got the outside covered, so you're not going to be able to run the ball against us. Only Aaron Rodgers can put pressure on us. So if we can limit the passing opportunities, whether we're blitzing or just have great coverage down the field, like you said, we've been playing a lot of man-to-man. We're going to need, which I'm surprised no one said it, Quandre Diggs out there. Some pressure on Aaron Rodgers and blitz from his position. Also, he's been playing a little bit better in coverage this year.
I'm surprised I'm surprised you named Quandre Diggs. You didn't name Tavon Wilson. You don't like Tavon Wilson? He's so great.
I don't got nothing against him, but I'm just surprised no one said Quandre.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right though, because he been shining. He been doing this thing. I like his hits. He a straight tackler, man.
He's hitting the hit stick every time.
Yeah,
right.
Diggs is by far the best player, you know. And while some may argue that Tavon Wilson is better or he's, you know, just as good, when Diggs get back, that guy's going back to the bench, and it's just going to be the facts.
Yeah.
So
facts.
Yeah.
And what I like about Diggs again is he's the hard hitter. I think what he needs to improve on though is wrapping up. There's been a couple of times where he's made the hit, the player actually stayed on his feet and gained more yards. If he can start to wrap up a little bit more, he can definitely be in a complete safety that takes it to that next level. He's got the hit power. He's making folks remember that he is on the field and don't forget him. And so I love Diggs. Y'all know that's my favorite player on the team for sure. Big Will, what player are you concerned about when it comes to the Green Bay Packers?
I mean, only player that I know on their team is Aaron Rodgers, so I got to go with that.
He said the only one I know is Aaron Rodgers.
So, you know, he's every time something bad happens to us, it's always him getting out the pocket, doing something with the ball. That's it. I mean, I don't fear anybody else. None of their wide receivers, tight ends, running backs. Nobody else on their team. So
Aaron Rodgers is a beast. He definitely is a player to pay attention to. When it comes to players, CA3, who are you paying attention to for the Packers?
I mean, I wish I could say somebody else besides Aaron Rodgers. I mean, but
I mean, right? It is what it is.
I don't know who else is the favorite. I mean, like I'm not scared. I mean, I would say Devontae Adams. I mean, but he's got turf toe. And then I mean, there's nobody really on their defense that I'm scared of. So I mean, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers. I mean, Aaron Rodgers doesn't play well. I mean, they don't win this game. That's point blank. Period.
Facts.
For me, I'm not gonna say Aaron Rodgers is the person that worries me the most. The person that worries me the most, believe it or not, is in all honesty, is nobody. This is the truth. I just look at it like this, man. Let's be honest. You know, for me, Aaron Rodgers can only go as far as his receiving core. If you got one guy who can't cut off his toe because he's got turf toe, that's a problem for him. And yes, he got other receivers, but they're young and inexperienced compared to our cornerbacks. So when I go through and I look at it, who should I fear? None of them. Why? Because at the end of the day, I believe that we do what we need to do. It's a reason why they don't gave up over 300-yard rushes in what 4 or 5 games. So this to me is one of the games where the Lions need to come out and say, "This is our division, and we taking it." I'm not worried about Aaron Rodgers struggled against Mitchell Trubisky. I know it was week 1, but it's Mitchell Trubisky.
Trips.
Like his name don't even sound scary. What's your name? Mitchell Trubisky. Like, come on. So if we gonna be honest about it, you know, we have to be able to be honest about it. If you don't even got to worry about neutralizing Aaron Rodgers, stop the run. We will do that, and just take away his receiving threat if Devontae Adams play. They're going to be forced to just play one lane, and that's going to be going to the tight end. That's not going to be enough to beat us.
The individual I'll be paying attention to is safety Arnos. He's a really good safety in my opinion. He's decent in coverage. He's great in tackles. He's an individual that's playing 2K, it sounds like right now. So if whoever's playing that, if you can please go ahead and mute that, that'd be fantastic. But again, Arnos is a great safety. That's something that Matthew Stafford's got to pay attention to. Every once in a while, Stafford does a Stafford throw. And with the safety back there, he can make a play and turnovers kill straight kill, and we can't get turnovers against the Packers. We could not get turnovers against Kansas City, and look what happened. So I think that's something to pay attention to. But the biggest individual when it comes to Green Bay Packers that I fear, the biggest Green Bay Packer of all, is the referees.
You laugh, but that's a great answer.
Hey, I like that. I like that one.
He said the biggest threat is the referee. You said everybody else good. It's the ref we got to watch out for.
Man,
That inside man, yeah.
He right though, man.
Listen, Ray MK says, man, come on, man. You gonna stop disrespecting my team, man. I'm sick of it. Hey, man. Listen, I gotta get you fired up. I gotta get you fired up because I know when you come on, you're gonna come on ready to talk some heat, and we're gonna have a good conversation. And that's what it's about, man. It's being able to have a conversation, whether you agree or disagree. The benefit of doing this is it's gonna be on record, so it's gonna be recorded. So whatever we say, okay. We can't take it back. It's already recorded. So if you sit there and I come on and say something crazy, guess what? I'm on recording saying I own up to it and I take my hits. So I'm just saying.
You take a lot of hits from those. I don't want to go there.
No.
I mean, and Mike, you're really right, man. Because when I was watching that Cowboys versus Packers game, and some of those calls, man, I've never seen or heard. I seen Rashawn Gary barely tap Dak Prescott in the head. He got rough in the passer.
Man,
Dak Prescott was still on his feet. And and I seen the most BS pass interference call when Dak.
And it's not the referees, just specific teams. It's just the referees in general are just so damn bad this year. So many plays that you're looking at it, and these guys are changing the game. And it doesn't make any sense. And you're watching it and you're like, how can a billion-dollar business such as the NFL make sure that players do exactly what they're told, make sure that owners live up to expectations, players to expectations, trainers, staff from teams, but yet accountability for referees seems to be non-existent. And it drives me nuts. And in my opinion, it's simply destroying the game. And it sucks, man.
You know what else sucks? Having over 90 people in the chat and only 80 thumbs up. Let's get those likes up, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you get those likes up. I know we got one thumbs down. We support you too. Every hater needs a happy hand. Matter of fact, can we get a thumbs up for that one thumbs down for that hater? He needs a little moral support, and we want to make sure that we give it to him so he don't go kill himself later on. So we want to help him out as best as possible. If you just donate a thumbs up to get those likes up, that one thumbs down might change his mind and love himself enough to not hate for no reason.
And you're getting exercises by taking your finger and clicking it. So just think of what you're doing with your body and really helping your health out in that sense. So that's what the DSA does. We give you good health when it comes to watching and listening to the Lions, and of course physical health with your finger clicking. So definitely click it, or I'm sorry, but I'm not going to give you a ticket because I'm not a police officer or any of that sense. But just click it and make me happy, make me smile. Also, folks, get ready for some questions because we're going to go to the chat for some questions. This is our favorite time. You can go ahead and send it to any one of us. Personally, you can send it to us as a whole. Any question come up with, we will go ahead and answer it and do the best that we can. And this is our favorite time, man. We give it back to you and let you guys decide how the show goes. Before a question starts hitting, I will just get to some questions, though I got here. Go ahead, Luke. Go ahead. Go ahead, Luke.
The thumbs down is gone. See, you see what love do? You see what love do? It takes a thumbs down away, and love fixes everything. This is how you do it. You just give them a little love. All you need is love. Just give them a little love. That's it.
Yeah, funny, man.
Oh, man. Gotta love it.
Hey, here's the question. Here's the question to Detroit Drew. Rage MK says, why y'all disrespecting my team?
I mean, I don't think we're disrespecting your team. I mean, Luke's disrespecting it.
I'm in full fledged. Yeah, Yeah,
I think part of the reason Luke's disrespecting it so hard is because J-Mo's not here. We need someone with the hot takes.
right. Somebody got to do it. Somebody got to be the bad guy.
I mean,
It's gotta be
J-Mo, man. I can't wait till that show. J-Mo, him and J-Mo gonna be hilarious.
I mean, it's the thing with the Packers, though, man. It's Aaron Rodgers or bust. If he does not have a good game, you guys aren't going to win. He has to. The thing about Aaron Rodgers, he has to play perfect every single game for him to have a chance.
I don't know about that. I mean, like some of the games I saw, that Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing that perfect, and they still won.
Who else are they going to give the ball to win the game? Because their defense ain't going to.
It's just the games that they won when Aaron Rodgers wasn't playing well. They weren't really playing nobody like that.
And I can tell you this much. I can tell you this much. To be honest with you, it's not really that we're. It's not really that that we're disrespecting the team per se, but our confidence level is high, and it's high for a reason. Even in the Green Bay Packers win, somebody is playing 2K. I know. I hear
it's not me, man.
Somebody, if you're playing 2K, mute that. I hear whistles and streak marks from shoes.
We'll go the square button, man. Stop trying to reach.
Man, somebody's playing 2K, man.
But yeah, it's not that we're trying to disrespect the team, but our confidence level in our team's ability is high. Like if you look at it, Green Bay is not going to be the best team we played this year. It probably was going to be Kansas City. And so to me, when I look at Green Bay, even in the win against the Dallas Cowboys, it was more about how bad the Cowboys were. You can't give no Ezekiel Elliott no 12 carries. I mean, come on. And here's a fun fact for you. This is no joke. Go and look at Dak Prescott's record. When he throws the ball 29 times or more, his win-loss record is not even existent. And I don't even like win-loss records, but it's something about the way this team plays when they don't run the ball enough and they throw it too much. So the first real test Green Bay gonna get is gonna be Detroit. You said it yourself, Rage. It's a division game. We do got talent. Y'all got talent. The problem is I don't see how y'all talents match up with ours, especially, and you need this is the key part. Devontae Adams needs to play and play well, and I don't think that happens.
Here's a question for Big Will from Craig Robbins. He says, do you think Matty P will change his game plan from what we have seen in the first 4 weeks?
I don't think so, because I believe that the way we played against Mahomes is the way that we was planning to play against Aaron Rodgers in the first place. Because like I said earlier, that I believe that we built the team for our division. And so it was just a blueprint. I mean, it was a way for us to try it out before we play against them. So I believe we're going to see the same game plan this week.
Okay. Boss is a mother F21 says, who is better at Madden, Luke G or Micro Mike? I'm going to go ahead and do a lateral pass to Luke G because I don't play Madden.
Yeah. I mean, clearly it has to be me. It has to be
you.
Yeah, I mean.
Now, if we talk about Killer Instinct, we all know who's got the Cowboys.
Mike, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to Mike. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do
Hold
that.
on. Quick question. Killer Instinct, they made a new one since the old one?
No, but you know they got it. You know they had one on Super Nintendo, then they did the one for the Xbox, and he still feels that he's confident in his skill set. And I keep trying to explain to him that he got the right one, but he don't want to believe me. So sometimes I may have to show him. You know, sometimes you gotta show them to make them believers.
Well, just because you're better than Mike at Madden doesn't mean you're good. So just throwing that out there.
I mean, did Drew come?
I hear some shots.
Whose side?
I hear some shots right now.
I call it like I see it, man.
Like I'm just saying, Drew came in like that wrestler who ain't got nothing to do with the fight out of the back for no reason, just jumped in with a cheer. Thank you, Drew.
Hard work and dedication, and I'm going to throw this to you, General, says, y'all think Kerryon Johnson gets another 100-yard game? I think so. Can he do it, and how do the Lions do that?
Perfect. You know what? I love this question. This is the perfect question for me. God must have felt me. You hear me? So let me tell you. This is exactly what they need to do. They need even this. Okay, let me break this down the right way. I don't want. So, say for instance, you run a shotgun, right? You got split backs. You got a back on this side, full back on this side. But when you call height, I want it to close as an I form. So I don't care what position you in before anything. I want you in the I form run position. At the end of the day, that's how I feel this offense with the run game can spurt, man. You put them in the I form, man. You get one of the fullbacks that can block. that's not scared to knock a head off. If hold on real quick, if you pay attention to the first play of San Francisco, right? The first play, because remember, they be in the I form more than any NFL team. So the first play, the I form play is what they was in. This guy ran straight touchdown. If we get into that I form, we could dominate every team in the league. I guarantee it. Because all Kerryon is a great back. He's just wasn't able to flourish because he's not getting that one. He's one block away from scoring every other time. You hear me? He's that great. But he has to have that first block to establish what to do next. If you don't have that fullback coming in to block that extra loose wing to let him know if he should go outside or inside or find another hole, then it's going to be very difficult for Kerryon to spurt every single game. Period.
Okay,
I love that answer.
I mean,
that was fantastic.
I mean, he said God walked in on that one. I wasn't even. I need to go back to my.
Go ahead, Big Will.
I believe we do have a good fullback, though.
Oh yeah.
If you've been watching the Lions, he's a good fullback. He blocks, he catches passes, he does everything that you want him to do. He's not going to do nothing to get better.
True that. Don 19 for CA, and I'm going to throw this to you, fellas. How many touchdowns does Kenny Galladay have?
Oh, I thought he said how many touchdowns do he think he would get? This is what happened when you try to multitask. You miss stuff. My bad, Don. Yeah.
I think Kenny Galladay will have.
No, how many does he have right now in the season? Is the question.
Oh, how many does he have right now in the season?
I thought it was 3, but I could be wrong.
I think he has 3. Yeah.
Well, listen,
I was thinking the question was.
Case says 4. So
yeah, 4. But I was seeing how many touchdowns is he going to have during this game. I thought that.
Yeah. That's what I thought he was asking.
Yeah.
See, that was a good question. There was 3 different questions and one answer.
Right. You know, that's yeah,
what you want me to answer that question? Like,
how many touchdowns do you think Kenny Galladay will have versus the Green Bay Packers?
I mean, I think I'll have 2 touchdowns versus the Packers. I mean, I expect them to have a good game, man, especially against that young, unexperienced secondary.
Yeah, hey, take it. I think he has 1. I think 1.
Yeah, I think 1. I would go with that in my opinion there. Just 1. He's been doing well so far throughout the year. He's got 4 right now, 1 per game. And I think he'll continue during that. They do have some decent pieces in the secondary there. And the Lions, I feel like Matthew Stafford is going to distribute the ball fairly well. TJ Hawkinson will probably get a touchdown, maybe even Marvin Jones. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say one thing, man. I want to say this before I get off air. Marvin Jones is gonna have a heck of a game Monday night. People don't respect Marvin Jones as much. You know, I don't know why. He's one of the most consistent, and he's not injury prone, and he's not a big body like these other guys. But he has a heart as big as the ocean. You hear me? So pay attention to Marvin Jones and Kerryon Johnson this week. I said it. All right.
All right.
I hear you.
And let's see, Ryan Dundas. I almost thought of a different name there. He says, will Snacks have a big night stuffing the run their game against the Packers? Let me take this. I don't think he's going to do what he did last year. Let's put it this way. I think he'll be okay. But right now he's been in about 40% of the defensive line when they're out there. Last year he was 60%. This year he's doing 40%, so it's dropping down a little bit. I believe if Deshaun Hand is back there, maybe he'll get a little more playing time, but he's not showing right now that he's stopping the run like he did last year, and it's concerning. And I think it maybe get a little bit better, but with only 40% of snaps, it's hard for me to assume he's going to have a big time night.
Yeah, I mean, and I think what you're seeing with Snacks is a lot of the teams are trying to run him in trap plays, and that's what's causing him a lot of the issues when he's getting caught in those trap plays. But the person who's stepping up when they run those trap plays has been A'Shaun Robinson. So that's the benefit of people trying to scheme against a good player for you. I said last year, matter of fact, it might have been earlier this year we were talking about it. I said, listen, Aaron Rodgers had a great single season. It was because of Ndamukong Suh. and everybody jumped on me. I okay. Well, how's Aaron Donald doing now? And it's the same thing with the Buccaneers. Sue get over there, and that defense starts to take off. I mean, certain players are game changers like that, and I believe Snacks is one of those game changers. But the problem is the way they're scheming him out of the game is the problem. So
yeah,
it happens.
I really think on one note with Harrison, I think the excuses need to stop. Big boy need to get in the weight room. Not as far as matter of fact, forget the weight room. You need to do something to drop some pounds, big time, because he's so talented. It takes so much away from his talent, not being able to quickly get off them blocks and be able to move. So they call him a run stopper. So he's just a run stopper because he can't make it to the quarterback fast enough. But what about dropping some of them pounds and seeing what you could do after that? I mean, I don't feel like he should settle with the weight because it's causing him to lack on his talent. Because hey, as y'all know, when you get old, you lose it. So if you the same weight as you was in your prime, don't think you gonna look the same that you was in your prime.
And that's facts. And when you get older, your ability becomes less. We all know we're a bunch of old people on here right now, besides CA3.
Hey,
I can tell you right now.
Like, hey, whoa.
I can tell you right now.
Drew?
I played wide receiver in high school. If I did that now, the first hit I would throw my back out, and it would be the end of the game right then and there. I could not perform the same task that I did back in the day. Luke G, here's a question for you. How many sacks, hits, hurries, fumbles, interceptions will Aaron Rodgers have?
Sacks 2, hits 8, hurries 10, fumbles 1, interceptions 1. That's how I see it going.
Wow! I'm writing this down, man. I got to write this.
Yeah, 2 sacks. Yeah, 2 sacks.
Okay, 2 sacks.
Yeah, 2 sacks. I say they get 8 hurries, 10 hurries, 8 hits, 1 fumble, 1 interception.
Here's a quick question for Detroit Drew, and it's not the Ted Cheney, it's One Pride, because he's been asking this question many times. He says, do you think that video upset the locker room?
Oh, absolutely. 125% yes.
Yeah.
I guarantee you they're watching it on a loop. They're going to be ready, man. The thing about that is, if you guys actually watch Bleacher Report, which I just blocked them because that was insane. They do this all the time. You know, they got one for basketball called Game of Zones or something.
It's Game of Game of Zones, yeah.
They make fun of everybody, but like this one just seemed different than the rest. I mean, this one was insanely disrespectful. I don't see how the Lions can look at this as a funny thing that they're going to be laughing at it with the buddies. No, they're watching this right now. Matt Patricia's got them fired up.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Stafford's going to throw for 400 yards and
or come out after a win with a clown mask on. That'd be real funny.
Yeah, you know how they had that underdog mask in Philly when they went to the Super Bowl? We're about to have some Joker mask.
Now, keep in mind, people, if you would like to come on and join the DSA on the roundtable, we are now adding subs to come on and join us on the show. You do have to hit us up. There's kind of a screening process, but we will get you on. I know it took the general a while to get on, but he's here. He's on.
I'm here now.
You know. Also, we got on Detroit. We got Detroit's own Big Will on, who's supposed to start a YouTube channel, hasn't got it up yet, but he's still gonna do it, and he's here. So
I feel like it does me.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I'm
hey,
sorry.
Luke, take it a step further, man. In order to get on the show, you got to hit that like button.
Absolutely, get them likes up, man, and make sure you reach out because we're going to have subs come on and join us on a roundtable to talk some sports. Now there are some light requirements, but we will discuss that when you hit us up because you can't be on here with bad quality equipment. I can't have you sound like you underneath water with SpongeBob and Squidward. So make sure that you hit us up. We'll talk to you and get everything squared away, and you can join us and be a part of the DSA roundtable.
Absolutely, man, and it's fun. It's absolutely fun. You bring facts, we bring facts. It's a family here. It's all about having fun, whether you're a Lions fan or not. We absolutely love it, and we thrive off it.
But we do prefer Lion fans. Right?
Big Will, Ted Cheney
Yeah.
says, who will be the player of the game?
Hey,
Yep.
who would be the player of the game? I'm going to say Tracy Walker.
Ooh,
Ooh,
I like
that's
that. Why is
Interesting.
that?
okay.
I believe he's going to get probably he's going to get a lot of tackles. He's going to get at least an interception or two.
You mean to
Nice.
tell me you don't think it's gonna be Tavon Wilson? You know he's amazing.
Don't start it. Don't
Okay, I
start
just
it.
thought I put it out there, but okay.
Dang, Luke doing his best troll job today.
I'm just saying. I mean, I haven't heard that name at all today. Y'all need to stop being selfish. Tavon Wilson is Jesus. Go ahead.
Feels like someone's pushing your buttons over there, Mr. Luke.
Hey, I'm just saying. You know,
Oh man.
just saying.
Luke been reading the wrong Bible.
Here's a question for Luke G. Do y'all think Ashawn will pick up another fumble? He's been doing great, man.
I don't think this game he will. They're going to double team him, and that's crazy to say that they're going to double team Ashawn Robertson. Like that's the thing that they're doing these days. So I don't think he gets one this time around. I think they put something on him.
Okay. Melvin Drew, we got to get you on here. You've been a loyal subscriber to us for as long as I can remember, and I think it would be great to have you on one of these
Absolutely.
days. Boss as a mother F21 says, who will be the defensive impact player and offensive player? For me, the defensive player, I'm going to go Rashawn Melvin. To me, he's just been sticking out so great, so solid throughout the season so far, been sticky, really taking out the number 2. And when he was on the number 1, he was sticky as well. It's so important to have a compliment to Darius Slay. We've seen when we had Nevin Lawson, it was just a disaster. And now since we have a compliment, we're really taking that secondary to the next level. I think with his ability to stay on the receiver, and it depending if Devontae Adams plays, he may be getting the number 3 receiver. You know, Slay could be on the number 2. So to me, Rashawn Melvin, he has been such an impact for this team so far, and he's taken it to the next level. Offensive player. This one, to my opinion, has got to be TJ Hawkinson. His ability to separate from the defender, his ability to have other offensive weapons, get separation, get that yard needed for Matthew Stafford to ball out is imperative. And let's not just talk about his catching ability. His blocking and ability is absolute beast. He destroys defenders. He pushes them back. He gets that open space for Kerryon Johnson, as well as protecting the quarterback when need be. When TJ Hawkinson is in there, you see Matthew Stafford get a lot of less sacks. So I think those two players will be vital for the Lions come Monday night for sure.
Can I say one player, man? One player, real
Go ahead,
quick.
man.
One player, Flowers. I don't know if people have been paying attention to this guy. I mean, I pay attention to every play. I kind of break down plays. So he might not be getting what people say is sacks and things of that nature, but he pressing, and I feel his breakout day is coming. And I feel like Monday we gonna know who Flowers is again.
Ooh, man, don't man.
Oh,
You listen. When you talk like that, if Flowers have a game like that, oh my God, man, they gonna have to talk to A-Rod. He might do another one of those fake injuries. Remember how he pulled the Jerry Maguire and he was carried off the field, but he walked out like a ball to a clapping standing ovation. He gonna do it again.
Right.
But
Absolutely,
Rage MK over there heated like, man, I can't wait to get you on Thursday. Hey, Rage, I'm here, man. I'm here. I'm here for
It's
you.
going to be absolutely fun.
I mean, I guess I'll mention one player. I mean, I expect Marvin Jones to have a good game, man. But for some reason, it's something about the Packers, but he always goes off against the Packers. I don't know what it is.
And you know what? I support that. I'm backing you 100%. 100%, bro.
Now, this is an interesting question through Robert Whitney. Do you think the Lions will make a trade this year? Ooh. Now this is very interesting, and I'm going to say they do pull a trade, and not this time where we trade Golden Tate out of the Lions locker room and not just getting a Snacks Harrison like we did last year. I think if the Lions, in which I do believe are going to do well this quarter, and they're understanding that they potentially could win this division, they will look for an impact player as a defensive end or a linebacker who rushed the passer. In my opinion, right now, that is what is needed. Now, Von Miller, per the Broncos, is not on the trade block, but we all know when people say that, it doesn't necessarily mean it. They're 1-4, and I think an individual such as him added to this roster would make a ton of sense. Whether it be him or someone else like a Chandler Jones or just someone else out there that a team's willing to get rid of because they're willing to go ahead and be that first overall pick in this draft and start trading away players like the Miami Dolphins. So I do see the Lions make a trade. Anyone else, do you see that happening?
The Lions. Oh, go ahead, bro.
No, I mean, to me, I think the trade talk is definitely going to heat up. One of the things Bob Quinn said early on in the year, he said it a few times. He said, I spent a lot of time creating profiles and doing it. And one of the things that he talked about was making sure that every person he brings in, he builds a profile to him. So when he calls them up, he can call them up. So the Laquan Treadwell, they brought him in for a visit. Yeah, because he's trying to figure out how he's going to work it because he knows at the end of the season, Amendola's gone, right? He's probably not going to keep Hall. So what does he do? He goes and look at a guy that he already has scouted from college, Emmanuel Hall. He talks to Laquan Treadwell. And what if those guys have in common? They're all big receivers. So he's doing his homework. Is a trade going to come down? Yes. And I think it's like Mike said, it's going to be for somebody who can add to the defense via the pass rush. But unless they get a special deal for some type of offensive lineman, them the only two I can see them really going after at this point.
Absolutely. What about Chandler Jones? Would anyone willing to trade for him depending on price?
I mean, I think whoever you're going to trade for, whether you want to talk about Von Miller or Chandler Jones, it really comes down to this because I see both sides of the argument because I trust Bob Quinn drafting. Are you willing to part ways with not maybe just one, but maybe 2 first-round picks? Because we know Bob Quinn can find diamonds in the rough, but can he keep doing it? It's either, build for the future or go out there and get a proven player now. But like I said, man, I trust Bob Quinn to go out there and get guys in the later rounds. So, I mean, this team's kind of in win now mode, and I think giving away a first-round pick is not going to be the end of the world because right now we're fighting for the NFC North, so it's not going to be that great of a draft pick anyway.
Right.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
All right. Okay, so let me say this. So Matt Patricia, y'all got to remember where he came from, the Patriots, Belichick, he's one of the biggest guys who do it with taking a nobody and making them somebody or putting them on a team with champions. So I feel like Matt Patricia is kind of got that as far as what he's doing, as far as him pulling out talent from these guys that come from nowhere, no-namers and things of that nature. So I feel like I don't want to push for a trade right now. I really don't. This is I say this is basically our first year that we have a team that's built. I don't feel like we need to build a super team because we don't need a super team to win. We just need an efficient team. Remember, we'll be 4-0 just off efficiency. We don't need any extra pieces or extra attitudes and all this craziness. Keep it like it is. Implement them young pieces from the next draft. And do as good as you did this year. Hey, you just see something big.
I like the idea. I mean, and that's what we've been waiting on is to see them develop the young guys.
And that's how you build a franchise. Absolutely, folks. We're going on nearly 2 hours, and it's that time of the show for the last thoughts. CA3, what do you got to tell the folks out there?
Thank you guys for coming out to watch us. And I guess, spend some time and, watch us and comment and be interactive with us in the comment section, ask us questions. I love all the support and I'm ready for this game, man. I'm ready for this rival game. I'm ready for us to take control of this division, man. And so support everyone. Support all Detroit YouTubers, including the DSA, DVE, the Outsiders, you know, because we're all one family. We're all supporting the same side, man. So
Absolutely. DeGeneral 313. Thank you for being on the show. I hope you had a blast for your first time. And what do you got to say to the folks out there?
Well, what I want to say, I got my YouTube page under construction, and things like that. As soon as I put the drywall up, y'all can come to my channel and check it out. The second thing I want to say is thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it, and we'll watch out for the I form. Whenever you see an I form position this Monday, it's going to be good things to come from it. If not, I don't know what can happen. So that's as far as our run game. So as far as that, pay attention to the to basically the line and how they rotate, and let's see how it works out.
Absolutely. And again, to Rage MK, I invited him to be in the chat today. And again, I had a great conversation with him throughout the day. He spit a lot of facts, absolutely loved it. And I thank him for taking the time to not just be on my video and listen to it, but to come on here, man. We absolutely love it and truly appreciate your insight. Even if you're a Packers fan, we absolutely love it.
Yeah.
Big Will, what do you got to say to the folks out there? And again, man, much appreciated you coming on the show tonight.
Man, I just wanted to say thanks for having me on. I really appreciate hanging out with you guys. Me and Luke go back and forth a lot, but
I've been losing lately too. He listen. If we was debating on the thing, he would have won.
So we have our debates or whatever, but it was just good to get back on here with you guys. And I really want to see the Lions take off so we can really shut down these people. And for all the bad things that's going on, they can really see what do we see early in starting to come through. So that's it for me.
Oh, wow. Melamo, I truly appreciate that $5 super chat you just came in late. Smash that like button. Sitting pretty with 97 likes, no dislikes. Much respect to you. Truly appreciate it. It's stuff like that makes me keep going, and I will definitely reinvest in my channel and with that money and continue to bring you quality content. Folks, we're at 97 likes. We got to get past 100. We must. If you have not smashed that like button, Hulk, smash it. Let's get it done.
That's what happens when you guys send super chats and promote likes. It's a two birds, one stone.
Yeah,
absolutely.
True. And we got rid of a thumbs down. So
it's imperative.
I've never seen that happen before.
Yeah, that was a good. Hey, Luke, mad props to you for that, bro. You made that. Hey, you made that happen, bro. That was a hell of a way to do that.
Yeah, we got rid of that one like, man. All you need is love.
It's imperative to kill two rocks with one bird, and that's Detroit Drew. What do you got to say to the folks?
Man, tomorrow is going to be a big one for me. I am going to Little Caesars Arena. The Detroit Pistons blessed me with some free preseason tickets. So I got to thank all the peeps out there who helped made that possible, because without you guys, I wouldn't be put in that situation. So if you guys are going to Little Caesars Arena, or if you're just in Detroit, I'm going to be walking around a little bit downtown Detroit before the game. So just come dap me up. We'll take a picture. And if you guys are lucky, I'll bless you and put you guys in the vlog, because I will be recording while I'm there. So hopefully I can bump into some of you guys out there. Have a video dropping early in the morning, so that way the upload streak continues, because no days off. I've inherited the Mambo mentality. So it's fun, man. It's a good time to be alive. I'm thankful every day for all you guys. Great show, Mike. Great show, DSA.
And what Detroit Drew has done when getting the inside look of the Pistons is fantastic. Absolutely showing that the DSA is going places. They're paying attention. Detroit Drew is leading the way. He does a show called Above the Rim Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If it is a different time, he would let you know, and we all distribute that. Great show about the Pistons, and truly appreciate your dedication to the DSA. Luke G, what do you got to say to the folks?
Man, first of all, thank y'all for coming out. Thank you, Rage MK, for having fun, man. I appreciate it. We got our one thumbs down back. Appreciate that too. But thanks for coming out, man, being a good sport. He's supposed to come on Thursday. He's going to reach out to us and we get that all set up. So that'll be kind of fun to do. Also, make sure that you hit that like button. Hit that like button and hit it again. And if you have already, give me some likes up in the chat. You know how we do it. Also, make sure you subscribe to all the members of the DSA. And when the General 313 puts his channel up there, we'll put it out there. Also, make sure if you have not, make sure you subscribe to the General View. That's AKA JGB, General G. Berry. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. And as always, I leave you with a positive note. Simply put, if you are hurt, don't cry about it. You simply have a setback for the setup. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, don't be no chump. Please subscribe to the DSA and do your research.
Folks, again, thank you for joining us for 2 hours of your quality time listening to Detroit Lions Talk, where we talk all things Detroit and try to give you our opinion as best as humanly possible without bias. Yes, we all do have bias as we're fans of our own team, but it's imperative to always be humble ourselves and try to look it through at a different lens. Sometimes it doesn't work, but we attempt to do that as humanly possible. Great show, fellas. Much appreciated. Next roundtable will be on Luke G's channel. I believe it will be 7 p.m. Eastern time. Yep. We try to get it in before the Thursday night game so you all can experience the roundtable. Again, we're going to have Rage MK on with us, and it's going to be a fantastic show. He knows his sports. He knows his facts about Packers. So get really excited for that, to listen to a division rival bring facts that actually matter. With that said, folks, adios.
Hey, Mike.